back to low-key golf. Long story short, I've been closing my face at impact. I'm trying to figure it out. So we got the spooky Halloween range going on SkyTrak. Let's check it out and see what's going on. And there it is. That's the pool. Oh, bonus points for hitting the balloon. Bonus points for hitting the spooky balloon. Like you can see, my face is 11 degrees closed, which is ridiculous. And let's take a look at it and see what we gotta do to fix it. So the first thing I did was check my alignment. I noticed that my shoulders and my feet were wide open. My shoulder was pointing to the left as well as my feet, right? So I squared that up. What I used was, and what you see is, I used alignment sticks that you just saw. But this illustration is basically what it looks like. The bottom right picture was how I was pretty much set up to hit the ball, right? What I fixed was I squared up my feet and squared up my shoulders, and that's what you see in the top picture, right? So once I got that fixed, I took a couple more shots and I started getting the results that I wanted. I started getting the results that I was looking for, right? The next thing I worked on was starting my downswing with my hips and not my shoulders, because I have a tendency to do that, and that's going to cause me to come over the top. And if you look at my club path, you can see that it's coming from out to in. When I get quick with my upper body, the club moves over the top and everything goes left. So when I was focusing on that and feeling like my right elbow was dropping toward my side, that's what kind of helped me get in the slot and start hitting the balls a lot straighter. Now, when I started doing that, I started hitting like baby fades. That was my shot for the day, you know, and that's what I had to roll with. But as I started getting in the groove and hitting the balls, I got pretty good results. So let's look at those shots right now. Let's pull up the SkyTrak data, or the scary Halloween range rather, and let's see what a few of these shots look like. All right, so here we are. We're on the range. Gonna hit a few shots, and from squaring up my shoulders and feet, let's see what we get. I left out the audio from the video clip because it was a bit much. So right away, even though according to SkyTrak those numbers aren't that great, still a little open, still coming over the top. But you know, for a first shot, it's not that bad. And all these shots that I hit, I use my 8-iron. So, cannot process shot. I'm not sure what that was. I think that was an error. Excuse me. Oh, I know what it is. Sometimes when you move the ball in front of the dot, it thinks you're taking a shot, but of course you're just rolling the ball past the red dot, so it's actually not a real shot. And that's when you get that little error screen. And that's it doing it again. That's just me rolling the ball on my golf mat, and the laser seeing that the ball's moving, and of course it's just rolling, so it's not enough data to actually register a shot. All right, there goes another one. It's my second shot, and it looks like at that point I had squared up the face. My club path was still a little out to in, but the result was a fade. And I'll take that all day. That distance is, for my 8-iron, is not off, but these are my first shots. So, but on the course, would I take that? Absolutely. Absolutely, I'd take it. That's 5 yards off from center. I'd play that all day long. I would not complain. And the time in between shots is me just setting up. I'm getting ready to hit the next one. And I'm pretty sure I was adding commentary when I was recording as well. All right, here's shot number 3. And it looks like a pretty one that's close to being online. And that's pretty closer to my actual distance. And what I normally get out of my 8-iron. I normally hit my 8-iron about 150, 160. It's pretty typical for me. If I'm doing anything more than that, normally I'm over swinging. Or if it's less, I'm hitting it fat or something didn't happen that was supposed to. But number wise, looks like we were closed and let it out to end. And what's important about that is, you know, sometimes you just gotta go with the swing of the day. You know, you hit the range before you hit the course. You know, sometimes you gotta be pushing a little bit, sometimes you're pulling, but if you can get it in an acceptable range to you and just play that shot for the day, it cuts down on a lot of frustration. I work out a lot of kinks on the range before I play, and I just roll with it because I'm not a PGA Tour pro. You know, I don't have the luxury of having personal swing coaches and trainers and all the niceties that come along with being a pro. You know, I'm just happy to be a weekend golfer and to actually make YouTube videos that hopefully help other people out to maximize our fun when we're actually out there golfing, especially with your friends, especially the competitive ones that I like to try to break their clubs when they hit a bad shot. I'm just teasing, but you know, we all got those friends that are too overly competitive. All right, here's the 4th shot, and we'll look at the face on this one, but you can see it started on line, then drifted a little right, and it looks like the face was, at this rate, anything that's 2 degrees to 0 degrees is perfectly fine with me. Of course, my club path that's just something I got to work on, and I know I have an idea of why my path was so out to end. So I've been battling a very tight back and have not been rotating well, and that's just one of the things that I have to work with, like at this stage of my game, at this stage of my age and my life. You know, I got to make compensations, and when I'm feeling this way, that's just what I get. I got an over the top swing. But that's gonna wrap it up. We're gonna end it right there. And so if we think about it, what the fix was is I had to break out my alignment rods and put them on the ground. And then once I lined up my feet, I put a rod across my chest. I had my golf club on the ground like I was gonna hit a shot. And I immediately took my hands off the club, grabbed an alignment stick, and to see where my shoulders were pointing. And everything was pointing to the left. And I swore up and down that I was straight. You know, so those are the little things that you can do when you practice. You know, just something simple. Grab an alignment stick. You know, look at your feet, because normally your upper body is going to follow what the lower body is doing. And I get out of shape all the time, so that's just something I need to be aware of as I'm hitting shots. So now I know if I'm pulling, I need to double check my alignment, right? And what am I really double checking it to? Where I want the ball to go. You know, you're finding a target in the distance, and then obviously as you get closer to the ball, you're finding a target closer to yourself, and you're just gonna roll with it like that. I guess I'm Gonna let this other shot go through, but that was 9 yards offline. I'll take that too. It looks like it started online and then started drifting right. So that's a little bit. Just Alright, we'll take one more shot. Rather, we'll check one out. Oh, and that I must have hit it fat too. You can see distance was kind of low for my typical average on this club. We'll take one more shot and then we'll shut it down. And that shot was alignment-wise perfect, although it was a little low. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today. So if this helped, please give it a like and subscribe. I'll keep sharing real practice sessions along with using my SkyTrak Plus to give you guys real numbers like it's seeing right now. It just isn't about me hitting a bunch of balls and trying to tell you what to do. I'm actually hitting balls and doing different things and showing you the instant results. Alright, so for me, in this video, it was just focusing on alignment and leading with my lower body, which is making a big difference right now. So once again, it's low-key golf. Keep it smooth, keep it simple. See you in the next one. Peace. God bless you.